Dr. Lisa Marnell, and I'm a pediatric occupational therapist with about 20 years of experience. If you are here watching this video, then I would guess that you either parent or work with an autistic child or teen. You likely see the importance of using visual supports with our kids, and that is fantastic. Today, I want to dig deeper and look further into the best ways that we can use visual supports so that our kids feel calm, regulated, and happy in their daily lives. After years of researching and using visual supports with autistic children and teens, I want to show you the 5 must-know categories of visual supports that help with self-regulation and skills acquisition. So let's get started. I am on the faculty of Boston University, where I work with some amazing students. Also, I'm diagnosed autistic myself. Today, let's start with the very fundamental question: why use visual supports with autistic students? Visual supports reduce anxiety, support communication, improve participation, and increase the independence of students in school. There are many reasons for this. An autistic child may have relative strengths in visual processing when compared to auditory processing. Our understanding about autism tells us that autistic individuals predominantly exhibit visual skills which are stronger than auditory skills. You may find it interesting that there is actually little to no evidence that autistic children have stronger visual perception than neurotypical kids, as many of us may suspect. Yet research does show that autistic people often pay attention to visual details to a far greater extent than neurotypicals do. Autistic children are much more likely to struggle with auditory processing than neurotypicals do. For example, when a parent or teacher is speaking, an autistic child may find auditory filtering challenging. Auditory filtering reflects a person's ability to hear, function, and complete tasks in the presence of background noise. They present with trouble with dichotic listening. This involves making sense of more than one auditory input at a time. In addition, a child may have difficulty understanding the actual meaning of words and sentences when they're in noisy environments. So all of this contributes to the reason that visual supports benefit autistic students. Another reason visual supports work well with autistic kids is because visuals provide predictability and tell kids what is to come. We know that autistic people prefer routines, driving the same route to the grocery store, eating the same foods. A visual support is predictable and, as such, can reduce anxiety of the unknown. Visual supports elevate a child's quality of life. They offer communication and contribute to building life skills or even academic abilities in our kids. So let's learn the 5 categories of visual supports. The first category of visual supports is visual schedules. These identify activities within a specific time period, such as morning, day, week, or month. These are very straightforward, and the only information on a visual schedule is what is coming up. These are very useful because knowing what is coming significantly reduces anxiety in autistic kids. Visual schedules may entail hands-on items. An example of a hands-on visual schedule would consist of a coloring paper and crayons in one box and mittens in the next box. This tells a child that coloring will be first and that this will be followed by recess. Whether you use hands-on items, photographs, clip art images, or text depends on what the child understands and what he does best with. Finally, visual schedules vary in detail. A visual schedule for the morning of a first grade student, for example, may be general, listing subjects and major events such as reading, recess, math, and gym, or the schedule could go into detail. Experiment with this, as too much detail may overwhelm one child but bring comfort to another child. The second category of visual supports consists of to-dos or checklists. This category of visual support is used to sequence and complete rote activities that the child can perform with minimal difficulty. You may see that to-dos or checklists are similar to visual schedules, but these are even more detailed. For example, the subject math may be on a child's visual schedule, but the specific tasks that a child will do during math time may be written on the to-do list or checklist. Like visual schedules, to-dos or checklists may entail hands-on items, photographs, clip art images, or text. Also, some children may do well checking off or crossing off items as they are completed. This process promotes their emerging executive functioning skills, initiating tasks, following an organized sequence of tasks, and completing tasks. Having this visual to-do list teaches a child or a teen planning skills through this concrete method in which children can see items and then cross them off as they are completed. The third category of visual supports is quite different from the first two. Essentially, this is a teaching visual. Typically, this would comprise teaching a skill that is emerging but is far from mastered. This type of visual support is called how-tos or step-by-step guides. This addresses tasks that a child has not yet mastered. The visuals here work through breaking down a task into very simple steps that the child can complete with adult support. Scaffolding is key in this category, and I wanted to share some tips when it comes to scaffolding activities. Consider location, consider materials, and consider the support offered. Location should be non-stressful, so perhaps teach hairbrushing seated at a table rather than standing before a mirror in a noisy bathroom. Materials should make the task as simple as possible, so perhaps brush hair on a doll first and use a wide comb that it is easy to pull through the hair. Support offered could provide instruction for only the final two steps of an activity, which is backward chaining, or the first couple of steps of an activity could be modeled, which is forward chaining. Sometimes a child needs information that is important in their lives. Because auditory processing may be challenging for autistic children, making a visual to present information can be very helpful. So, need to know info is the fourth category of visual support. Need to know info may be vital for when there is a change to a child's routine, such as when a substitute teacher is coming to school tomorrow and a regular teacher will be absent. Sometimes need to know info is important and often overlooked in a child's day. The example on this slide shows the need for certain information, such as why should I take a shower? When something novel is planned, this may be good or bad, like a visit from a favorite aunt or when a sibling is leaving for college. Letting kids know about novelty in their lives reduces anxiety. Finally, a quick note is that social stories, as outlined by Carol Gray, are often used in this category to provide information. The final and very important category of visual supports is the fifth one, called Hear My Voice. These can be used as an option when spoken words cannot be used to express questions, concerns, or feelings. These visuals offer kids agency and ensure that their thoughts are heard. These may be unique and one of many multimodal communication strategies. This type of visual support may be developed in consultation with a speech therapist, or it may be as simple as an emotions scale or a feelings chart. To connect with me on social media, search Kids Master Skills on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.